In the realm of American muscle cars, the Shelby name is synonymous with performance, heritage, and unrelenting power. The 2016 Shelby GT350R, a descendant of the iconic Shelby Mustangs of the 1960s, reinvigorates this legacy with a modern engineering and a focus on track performance. This car isn't just a continuation of a storied name, it's a statement in the evolution of performance cars. At the heart of the 2016 GT350R lies a naturally aspirated 5.2-liter V8 engine, known as the Voodoo engine. This power plant produces an astonishing 526 horsepower and 429 foot-pounds of torque. One of the unique aspects of this engine is its flat-plane crankshaft, a design typically found in exotic European sports cars. This allows for a higher redline and a distinct, ferocious sound that sets it apart from the burble of American V8s. This power that the Voodoo engine produces is delivered through a 6-speed manual transmission, emphasizing the 350R's purest approach to driving pleasure. Ford's Tremec TR3160 transmission is precise and robust, designed to handle the high revs and high power of the Voodoo engine, while providing a satisfying and engaging driving experience. But the GT350R is not just about raw power. It's engineered for precision and control. The car features a Magna-Ride dampening system, which adjusts the suspension dampening in real time to provide optimal handling and ride quality. This advanced suspension system, combined with an independent rear suspension and lightweight carbon fiber wheels, ensures that the GT350R remains composed and agile, even in the most demanding track conditions. Weight reduction is another critical factor in the GT350R's performance. To achieve this, Ford removed several non-essential components typically found in standard Mustangs, including the rear seats, the stereo system, and the air conditioning, which, as a Floridian, I would argue that is definitely an essential component. The result is a car that is approximately 130 pounds lighter than the standard GT350, further enhancing its agility and performance. And it doesn't stop there. The 350R is a study in aerodynamics and design. The car features a prominent front splitter and large rear wing, both designed to increase downforce and improve stability at high speeds. Additionally, the GT350R sports a unique hood vent to extract heat from the engine bay, maintaining optimal engine temperatures during spirited driving. The aggressive exterior design is complemented by functional aerodynamic elements that not only enhance performance, but also give the GT350R a menacing and purposeful stance. The car's wider front and rear fenders accommodate its wider track and larger rear wheels, further emphasizing its track-ready nature. The car's design and performance pay homage to the original Shelby GT350, produced by Carroll Shelby in the 1960s. The original GT350R was a track-focused variant of the GT350, and the 2016 model carries this tradition forward. It captures the spirit of the original while incorporating modern technology and engineering advancements. The inside of the modern GT350R features Recaro racing seats, a flat-bottom steering wheel, and minimalist controls, all designed to keep the driver focused on the road or track. The interior is a blend of functionality and performance, shying away from luxury for a more purposeful and engaging driving environment. The 2016 Shelby GT350R is a remarkable machine that bridges the gap between heritage and innovation. It's a car that not only honors the legacy of the Shelby name, but also sets new standards in performance and engineering. With its powerful Voodoo engine, precision handling, and aerodynamic design, the 350R stands as a testament to what a modern muscle car can achieve. The Windsor engine swapped into it can be a bit much at times, though. In an era where performance often comes at the cost of authenticity, the 350R remains true to its roots. It's a car built for enthusiasts by enthusiasts, offering an unfiltered driving experience that is both thrilling and rewarding. It's a legacy reborn. If you've made it this far, please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any future content. Now let's go ahead and put the Voodoo engine back in this car and test. We're going to test both the Voodoo version and the Windsor engine swap over in Tokyo. After fully modifying the GT350R with its factory Voodoo engine, it ends up with 817 horsepower and 520 foot-pounds of torque. It hits the scales at 2,703 pounds, and in this condition it'll actually be a supercharged car. On the test track, the top speed maxed out right around 220 miles an hour, but you probably won't see that on most tracks. This puts the Shelby's performance points at 766. It can still qualify for Le Mans. You just simply make some adjustments like changing to the hard race tires. I usually put in the fully adjustable manual transmission so that I can shift using the clutch and then just restrict the power a little bit. The car feels very well balanced and produces a great sound with a combination of that flat plane crank and the supercharger. Let's take a quick second to listen to it. Alright. The fuel economy on this car was a little bit rough, and we ended up seeing about 4 laps on a full tank. If you do run Le Mans, you'll likely want to jump straight to fuel map 6, and you can get right around 4 laps, and you'll just kind of check the weather map, because if you're on fuel map 1, you get around 2 laps. So just kind of pay attention to what the weather's doing and figure out how aggressive you want to be on the fuel usage. The tires were dropping around 20% to the rears with this being a rear-wheel drive vehicle, and we lost about 10% to the front tires. So it really wasn't too bad. This car takes the power produced by the Voodoo engine and accepts it really well, so this is really my preferred version of the car, even though the motor swapped engine does increase its power. We ended up crossing the line at 1 minute 56 seconds, .433, which put it just behind the Lancer Evo 9 and just in front of the Lamborghini Urus. But let's go ahead and take a look at the car with the Windsor motor installed and see how it handles. If you do decide to swap the Voodoo engine for the Windsor, this will bring the Shelby's power up to 1,408 horsepower and 1,018 foot-pounds of torque. This is over a third more horsepower and almost double the torque. The car does take a weight penalty of around 95 pounds, putting the total weight at 2,798 pounds, which isn't too bad realistically. After the swap, the car will top out over 250 miles per hour on long enough straights, like if you take it to the test track, but again, you won't likely see those speeds on most tracks. This motor is also turbocharged instead of supercharged with a cross plane crank instead of the flat plane crank, so it has a more traditional American rumble to it, but again, I do prefer that flat plane crank out of the new car. Let's go ahead and take a quick listen here. Now, although this car has more power, it is more difficult to get that power to the ground without breaking the tires loose, and because of that there's more wear. So we saw about 10% wear to the front tires and about 33% in the rear. And the fuel economy, as you would expect, also suffers with that much power being produced by this engine. And we were able to get about 3 laps before having to hit the pits. When you're setting up the gearing, you'll want to set it much higher than the speed you're achieving or looking to achieve, because the shift points are much lower on this car. The red line in the Windsor is around 7,000, with the Voodoo being around 9. We ended up crossing the line at 1 minute 51 seconds, .128, which put it right behind the C7 and just in front of the engine swapped Evo 10. Now, this one I don't really recommend unless you're building a duplicate because it's more of a drift setup and maybe drag race, but you're kind of taking away from what makes the Shelby 350 special by pulling that motor. Thank you so much. We'll catch you in the next one.